training. So first is information versus knowledge. So we don't provide any kind of information to people. That is very much clear. What we do is we help them understand what kind of knowledge they have about a topic. So, for example, if we are providing a training on decision making, them the definition of decision making, different aspects, and other things. But we help them realize what kind of decision making knowledge they have as a person, use that knowledge for their organization's benefit. Second thing is personalized connections. Now, interdepartmental and intra-departmental. So they need to connect with people working with them. They also need to connect with people working in other departments, with vendors, with customers, with a lot of people. And the way people behave with each other decides a lot of things. That this is a competitive world for everybody. It is for everyone. So industries is very crucial in their relations with all these departments and all these people. So how can their employees create a personalized connection with these departments and people? That is something we focus on. Aspect that we consider is learn to unlearn. This is very much important because the world is changing pretty fast. We all know that since this corona time started, majority of people shifted to online education, online delivery, online learning, lot of things. We also have never thought that could be done on an online platform. Like for example, theater training. Right? Majority of theater or facilitators had no clue that sometime in their life they have to do theater training online. But this particular gave us that opportunity, or it actually compelled us to do that. So the world is changing pretty fast. The requirement of people are changing very fast. Very much important for people working in different organizations to be ready for that change. And for that, there are there are it is a two-way process. One is you learn new things, and second is you unlearn some of the old things which are not required anymore. If you stick with that old things, that is a baggage that you create, and then it becomes sometimes it becomes difficult to travel with that baggage. So that let go approach need to develop, that unlearning process need to happen, and for that a realization of new things, new kind of education need to happen, and that is something is the need of the organizations in current days. Fourth, what organizations are looking for is a transformation. Things they look at the transformation of people to another. So it is not just the information that you deliver information and then whatever can happen, let it happen. No, they are more focused on how this training would help people as a person from what they were earlier and what they are today. Thing is very important when you provide a training. And the fifth and far most important is their emotional quotient. So businesses have started accepting the importance of emotional quotient in today's world, feeling that yes, it is important to understand the emotional quotient of employees, of customers, of vendors, and everyone. The this emotional quotient in your training is very much important, and these are the basic needs of the organization. Now apart from that, there are certain technical needs also, that some of the specific content that need to be delivered, some specific messages to be given, and some specific learning outcomes are expected. But these are very much technical things and that we consider while designing the program. But these five things are the basic foundation for training in today's world. Then what is the methodology that we use? So all the programs that we design are drama-based training programs. Now, when we call it as a drama-based training programs, that means we help people do different kind of dramatic things. And now, what are the dramatic things? We have just listed it below. I'll come to that. It is a participatory program. It is always a two-way communication. So we hardly use any kind of PowerPoint presentation. Of PowerPoint presentation that we use is somewhere about 5 to 10%, and rest all the things are based on different kind of activities, and it is always a two-way communication. See, in training you need to provide an opportunity or a space for your participants to speak what they feel and what they want. That is the basic requirement of training. If you don't allow them to speak and to express their feelings and their thoughts, then there is no point doing that training. It is activity based to ensure involvement. Now, this is again very important that I'm covering this in the benefits. Involvement of participants makes that training successful. So, applied theater is the way to involve people in training, right? And applied theater is not the outcome, it is a medium. People start involving in the process, they understand how to communicate certain things, how to identify certain things, how to explore certain things. They start getting into that process, and within that process they contribute a lot, and that is the learning happens on the floor while doing the training. Then we have a small group and large group exercises. So usually the group of participants is restricted to 20, not more than that. And within that group, we have certain small group activities where we divide that group into group of 4 or 5 people each, and certain large group exercises also. So with that small group interaction and large group contribution, learning that happens. So as I said that it is applied theater is a medium. So what kind of different mediums that we use? So we use different theater games, process drama, forum theater, participatory theater, newspaper theater, image theater, storytelling, devising techniques. So these are the certain things which comes under the umbrella of applied theater, as Maya said yesterday, that we use for training. Now, the very important thing we all need to understand that the participants coming from uh, for our training, they are not coming from any kind of theater background. That is very, very important that every facilitator need to understand. So the participants, they might not have seen the auditorium in their life also. There is a possibility. So in that way, you should be able to handle the group. And that's why the entire focus of applied theater work is on the process and not on the performance, right? And this is very, very important that doing a performance is not the ultimate aim of applied theater. Getting participants in the process of learning and exploration is very much important for this particular methodology. There is a very well-known writer from University of London, Professor Helen Nicholson, wrote various books on applied theater, and she's considered as one of the authorities in this area. And she says very interestingly that transformation with the series of event. Transformation does not happen with an event, but it happens with the series of transformative events. The job of facilitator is to create that series of transformative events with the help of different kind of applied theater methods that you know, right? So you use all these things, process drama, forum theater, participatory, all these things that you use, but you have to create that series of transformative events, get people involved in that, learn something, contribute something, get out of that, do another work, another process, again involve them, participate, learn, get out. So this is a continuous work that you keep doing when you are delivering a training. So what are the benefits of these things? So I'll just elaborate these benefits in a little bit of detail. Yeah, we have enough time. Okay, so very first one is participation. See, when it comes to training, so those who are working with children, they understand that there isn't any issue when it comes to participation. Participate very easily. You give them some task and they will enthusiastically complete that, and they are always ready to participate. But when you're working with adults, it is quite challenging because come with certain inhibitions and certain expectations. So when they come to your training room, they come with lot of question marks. Happened today, there is no PowerPoint presentation, there is no specific setting in the room, what they will going to teach, right? So they come with a lot of question marks. So their participation is very much important. So with lot of theater games and theater activities, you start help them participate in the entire process. The minute they realize that this is something different training that we were expecting, their inhibitions are gone and they start participating in the process. They participate, more they contribute. Right, always remember that the applied theater process, you do it with any kind of participants, not only with corporate, but you're doing it with children, with society, with certain NGOs, some schools, some corporate. It is always a personal based experience. So you help audience to bring out their personal experiences related to certain issues. Okay. So yesterday we heard the example of Ramabai by Maya Krishna Rao, and she was saying that they connect with audience, and then audience come back and respond on that. Respond about they respond about their personal experience. Seen certain things either in their personal life or in their close social circle or with their friends, or somewhere they have experienced something. So they bring that experience into the conversation. That is their contribution. Similar way, when we are talking about leadership, experienced leadership somewhere in their life. So in a critical situation, you became a leader and you have taken certain decisions. Seeing your family members or your friend circle or your social circle as leaders, and that is your experience. So when you get involved people in this particular process, they get their personal experiences on the floor, and that is very much important. Participation, where the process starts, that leads to their contribution to the group. And if there are 20 people in the group, And if 20 people start contributing, contribution happens in the uh, training. Okay. Third is listening. They learn to listen to each other. In a corporate structure or in an organizational structure, it is very rare because it is a hierarchical structure. There is a subordinate, and it is an unwritten rule that subordinate has to listen to boss. In this training scenario where you create this kind of a safe space, you help people each other, and doesn't matter who is on what position, what experience, who comes with what social background, family background, doesn't matter. But they are talking on certain issue. The topic that we are dealing with is leadership. They are discussing something. Listens to everybody's stories. About stories. That's what we learned yesterday. Out their personal stories about their own, maybe their parents, their children, family members, anyone. And then people listen to each other. Again, why people listen to each other? Because it is stories. It is not information. It is not a knowledge. It is not a definition. But it is stories. Actors, there are different situations, there are different emotions, there are different expressions, right? So that's why people listen to each other. Important thing next to listening is acceptance. Entire applied theater process in training helps people to accept each other and not as a colleague and subordinate. So when you come out with your own stories, people understand different layers of human being, you more as a person and not as an employee. In lot of trainings, there are a lot of discoveries happen. Like in one of the trainings, there are two people who are sitting to next to each other for like, and both of them, they love adventure sports. They are not aware about each other. Uh, with a person for 7 8 years, and you don't know about them, no connection. Now the minute they realize person also likes what I like, and that is adventure sports, with each other as a human being. Now they have common interest. Now they have something to share. That builds a personal connection, and then the work will definitely happen. But this connection is very much important. Is very interesting thing, and that leads to collaboration. So as I said, when I start accepting you as a person, trusting you, and then I start collaborating with you, so I don't mind working with you. I understand. Now we have something in common to share. Okay, so that collaboration starts taking place when people start accepting each other. Collaboration, then of course there is a team dynamics, moonwork, right? So they now in teamwork, all the uh, discuss participation, contribution, listening, acceptance, collaboration are very, very important of teamwork. So when people start doing all these things, lead to teamwork. Now within teamwork, what they discover is there is a perspective, the perspective to look at the things from different point of view. See, in a lot of areas, not only in corporate, but in a lot of areas, problem, the basic thumb rule is because one person says yes and the other person says no. That is the primary conflict. In theater, we say that if two characters saying yes, yes, there is no drama. Create a drama, the one character has to say yes and the other has to say no. A conflict, and within that conflict, there is a drama. There is a ready-made drama in corporate and industries because of the hierarchical structure. There is this ready-made drama available. Now, the training helps them to understand that yes is not the only option or is not the only option, but there are different options available. We need to look at that option, and that is called as a perspective, developing a perspective. So now if I have 10 different options in front of me for a specific issue or a specific problem, then I can choose the best possible option considering that particular time, considering that particular situation, particular problem. But if I'm keep imposing what I feel right is right, then it is not going to be a good situation for the organization. Okay, so that development of that perspective to look at the things in different aspect, and that is another important benefit of this process. So once you develop the perspective, you develop the understanding, understand how to look at the things in a different point of view, reflects in your personal life too. So we have a lot of stories. When we did the training, after a few months I got a call that, sir, we did that training, help me at my home with my children, with my family members. Because when you understand the perspective, you develop the understanding, and that understanding is a lifelong learning, and it is not only for corporate, but it is for you. So you can use it anywhere. So you use it in your personal life also, your social life also, with your friends and everyone. Is again very much important. When you start understanding things, you start transforming, right? So we always say that people changes with experience. So it is not only experience, but there is a lot of learning within that experience. Through that experience, you realize what exactly happened. That realization called as a perspective. Once you had that perspective, you develop your understanding, and then you start transforming as a person from what you were earlier and what you are right now. And that transformation leads to your productivity. Understanding world in a much better way, right? So there is no definition of better way, but better way in your own perspective. That leads to the improvement of productivity, improvement of learning, improvement of helping people, improvement in contribution of your own expertise in whatever work you are doing, as a productivity. Okay. So when we are doing trainings in industries or corporates, the are concentrating on the productivity only. Tell us, no, no, that productivity need to increase. So you do something and you help us improve that productivity in our organization. To that point, all the earlier steps. So when you design the uh, you need to consider that there are these steps that need to be considered while doing the training. So you always, as a facilitator, you always need to check whether we are going through these steps or not. So are people listening when I'm doing the training? I need to be very cautious about that. Are people participating? Are people contributing? Are they listening? Are they working as a team? Are they developing their own perspective? That is what my work is as a facilitator, and that's why there is one important thing which I am also saying, and the same thing Maya also said yesterday, that facilitator need to learn
வணக்கம்.
right question at the right time. And it is very, very important, very peculiar for, of course, you will learn this by experience. I think this is a very primary of the facilitator. They should be able to ask right question and not to tell participants. All right. Primary benefits of using theater in corporate training.
நன்றி சார்.
So, as I said, there are a lot of industries that we have worked with, including pharmaceutical, hospital, industrial manufacturing, a lot of things. So, my understanding, the understanding that I have developed while working in this sector is where people are working together. Doesn't matter which industry, working together, you can incorporate this particular methodology, and uh, that is the primary benefit of applied theater. It doesn't have any restrictions. You can use it with people staying in some village who are uh, illiterate. You can use them as well. You can also use it with people sitting in corporates on a very higher position like CEOs and MDs and chairman. It doesn't matter. I think that is a kind of range applied theater has, and there is no restriction. The only thing is how you deal with that as a facilitator is very, very important. And that is something people need to learn in India. So here is a small announcement after doing all this presentation that we have realized that this learn applied theater is also very much important. And unfortunately, we don't have any settings in India where people can learn applied theater. So when I decided to study applied theater, I had no option but travel to UK and study at University of London. And I came back and I started working in India. Dream to start something where we can teach people how to use applied theater in different areas. So we are initiating Indian Institute of Applied Theater and focusing on four different aspects. One is education, where we'll be offering workshop courses, online learning, master classes. Then we are focusing on the research also. The literature that we use for applied theater, all the European scholars. And what happens is when they write about Indian practices, they write with their own perspective, right, to look at the India. So we are focusing more on that research where people in India, people practicing applied theater in India should write about their practices with their own perspective. Because we understand what happens on a ground level. We understand the ground reality more than the people coming from. So we are developing that academic balance also, focusing on the research. Then the third thing is entrepreneurship and cultural entrepreneurship, and this is very, very important for artists, right? Many people have realized in this COVID time that they are brilliant in art, but they don't know how to sell that. And that is the biggest problem. Developing this entrepreneurship art and culture. So when students study applied theater, they should be confident enough to understand what they want to do and how to earn money out of it. End of the day, we all have to pay bills. Doesn't matter how good you are working in your area. Ultimately, it is about life. So if someone wants to be in theater or in applied theater career, then he need to understand how to channelize that entrepreneurship spirit. And I think all the artists need to learn this. And the fourth one is projects. So we are collaborating, associating with different organizations, developing joint projects, working on that. But our 100% concentration on applied theater, not on theater acting, but purely focused on applied theater. So I'll just go back to entrepreneurship because lot of the time doesn't come to this area or parents doesn't allow them to come to this area considering that there is no career. But believe me, there are there are huge career options in this particular industry. So you can work with a range of organizations, you can have your own setup, you can work as a facilitators, and there are no or there are less good facilitators in the country. So if you are really want to get to this, there is a huge career options. And nowadays, don't think about uh, a specific career in like even the banks are. We know what is happening with banks. Permanent job, probably that bank will not be permanent anymore. So that is the kind of situation we have. So why not to go with your passion and understand how to create work out of it? That is more important for artists. Before I conclude, this is very interesting said by Paulo Freire. Uh, he says that if the structure does not permit dialogue, the structure must be changed. And this helps facilitator within me to be alive always. I need to be always alert if the structure that I'm creating while doing the training is working or not. I have to immediately discard that and create a new structure. To accept and go ahead. Continuous shift that I'm doing in my practice, and that's why I enjoy what I do. So thank you very much for that, and let us uh, where I am. Yeah, okay, I'm back here, and now let's have some time for question answers.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session. Friends, you can drop your questions on chat box. Lakshmi, can you read the questions if possible? So there are a few questions came. So if Lakshmi, if possible, just you read the question. Are you there, Lakshmi? Okay. Mangi ma'am, can you ask your question? நீங்க போட்டிருந்த கொஸ்டின் நீங்க கேக்குறீங்க மேம்?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on the phone, so I can't come out. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Clearly.
Yeah, I've also put it on the chat box. Thank you so much for this area, because I think it is very important. for young people, especially who are trained in theater and want to move into applied theater. My question is that most of this corporate sector seems to think that English is the lingua franca. Even though I know that not all of them, I mean, they'll know English, but I don't know, I'll question their fluency anyway. But still, they want all these training sessions to be done in English. So my question is there a way to find a mediation between people who are really trained well in theater and also the techniques of applied theater that you're talking about as a collaborative effort, like collaboration among the trainers, especially in regional languages?
Padma, there are two areas in it. So when you're talking about some industry or some corporate need for people to be trained in the regional language. One particular sector where there are higher authorities and they prefer to do all the trainings in English, get back to say supervisory level floor managers or workers like a sales head or finance accountants, all these things, they prefer to have this regional language. So I don't think that is the barrier. Uh, Consider in the scope of percentage, maybe 60% trainings, 60% trainings are happening in regional language and 40% are happening in English. So we don't need to worry about English much. See, when you're in the area of applied theater, our medium of instruction is theater. Okay, language is just a support system that we have. And for that, if you want, you can collaborate with somebody. Uh, when you start doing a training, you will also learn by experience. But don't bother about English or any other language. It doesn't work in that way. Okay, I did a program in Sri Lanka where all the people they understand Sinhali language, and I had a translator. Okay, but it went very well. Training program in Tripura where majority of the teachers they speak Kokborok, which is their native language. Translator, and it doesn't matter because it is a process oriented work, right? So don't worry about any language.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And there is a question from Srishti Uniting Culture and Society. Sir, can you please elaborate some of the methods or techniques that you use in your programs, at least the most successful ones? That was the question.
Most successful one. Okay. Yeah, I think that's very relative question because all the methods are important. All the methods might work at some point of time and they might not work at some point of time. And as a facilitator, you should be open for that. For example, if I use image theater in one program of and if I use the similar method in another industry, at one industry it will work fabulous, and second industry it will not work at all. It is a failure because whatever method you use, it depends on the audience responses. Take it the way your participants take it depends on that, right? So there is nothing like successful or all methods are important. All methods can be successful in different timely aspect.
Thank you so much, sir. And another question from Sandeep Kumar. Have you ever trained a group of people with traumatic history? If yes, how different is it from what you do with the corporate crowd?
History, Sandeep Kumar. Okay. So do you think that people working in corporate are not traumatic? They are. They are. Given the their targets, their working methods, uh, the internal things also oppressed. See, as Maya said yesterday, in today's world, everybody is oppressed. Even we are oppressed, right? So it is not like people working in corporate are very much in a very well conditions. It's not the case. They also have to go with lot of things which might not be seen, which might not be visible as when we are talking about other groups, right? So, but if you want to ask that particular traumatic society, as in uh, society or some uh, denotified tribes, then yes, I've worked with that, and with every group of participant, it is different. Uh, I don't know how to describe that, how different it is, but yes, every group of participant, it is different.
Thank you so much, sir. And Fatima Munim have a question. Can a 63-year-old have a career in applied theatre?
Together in the workshop, why not? Why not? You can bring in a lot of your experience and you can become a fabulous facilitator. Well, I'm 38, you're 63, you have more experience than me, you just need to learn the techniques. You can be more successful than me.
Thank you, sir. And there is a question, sir. Is it necessary that the audience should involve or react with actors in applied theatre?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Is it necessary that the audience should involve or react the actors? Sorry, with the actors in applied theatre.
With the actors,
Have you got it? With the actors, audience should involve or react. Is it necessary? They're asking.
I think you need to be a little clear about your thoughts. As Maya said yesterday, in applied theater, differentiation between actors and audience. Okay, your participants are the actors, and they are the participants. They are the students. They are the learners at the same time. Act. You have to learn. Go ahead. Again, act. It, right. So that chain of reaction need to be there for learning to happen.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And
So,
Anurag Nair
yeah,
has a question. Yeah, so how has the pandemic
Jayashree
affected
Murthy
your
wants
trend? Yeah, please, sir. You can read your own. Yeah.
to ask. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Anurag Nair has a question. How has the pandemic affected your training
Yes,
processes? And is your film actively hiring theatre?
March, and majority of our programs happens in March, February, March. So yes, it started affecting, but when I realized that this is not going to end very soon, I have diverted my concentration on different topic on the forming the institution, Applied Theatre, and that was the work which we have initiated almost a year back. Not getting much of time to complete this work. This pandemic, we used it. It was a very quality time that we got, so we used to complete all the things, formalities, courses, faculty, everything, and now it is completely ready to launch. So we're launching it soon. As soon as it is launched, we will tell you. And are we hiring any graduates? So as of now, we are not hiring anybody. We have associates at different place, and people can associate provided they have done our train the trainer program, because we want our facilitators to be on the same page at par. We need to understand what and how they deliver, and they also need to understand the way we work. So post this pandemic, slowly when the state things will be back to the normal, slowly we will announce when we need the manpower.
Thank you so much, sir. And Jayashree Murthy, ma'am, please you can ask or give your comment if you want to talk. So please unmute your audio and please ask.
Hello, sir. I just
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to know what is the difference between management training and applied theater training? Are we incorporating both the things in one, or is it something different? Because
Okay.
most of the corporate companies, they do management training, and they do have occasionally they do have workshops and other things. What is
Yeah.
the difference?
See, management training, MDP, what is popularly called as Management Development Program. Okay, that is one of the nomenclature that corporates use. Okay, they have certain designed programs for development of their employees. So that is called as a MDP, right? Now, applied theater is a methodology, not a program. Okay, it is a method that you use deliver a program that is defined in the management development program. So for example, if in the MDP, they have given that there are these 10 elements that you need to cover in the training,
Yes.
communication, then team building, decision making, stress management, assertiveness. If there are 10 areas to be covered, it using applied theater as a methodology, right? So applied theater is not a content, it is a medium,
Oh,
and content will be provided by the management.
okay.
It is not a different thing. Connect all these things together and you can deliver a program.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you.
it is clear.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
ma'am, continue, ma'am, if you want. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. And sir, few questions regarding where to get
Yes.
the details about the courses you mentioned and where to get the training for corporate theater or applied theater. So a few questions like this, so you can
Okay.
answer
Just a
how to get
second.
trained for this. Yeah, that is the common.
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will just share my contact details here. You can note it down. Uh, so these are the contact details of Theatre Resource and Indian Institute of Applied Theatre. So you can connect with us on website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or email, right? About the courses will be announced very soon. See, we are just waiting to get this pandemic over. Otherwise, everything is ready, and we were supposed to start in October. But I don't think that we can start in October considering the entire situation. Connect with us on Facebook or Instagram, and you will get the update when this course will start. Secondly, to get trained in corporate as a corporate trainer, we do a 3-day train the trainer program. So far, we have done almost 12 programs in different cities in India. Yeah, so when everything is back to normal, announcing again, and you can join the program, you can complete the program.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we can end up here. So thank you so much. So before saying the formal thanks, if you want to share anything, so you can say a few words, sir.